I'm Jaehee, and I'm the Director of Academic Counseling Services here at MEK Review. Today, we're going to talk about how to build your college list. Now, what you want to consider first is your GPA, your SAT or ACT score, and your intended major. But for the very first version of your college list, I want to invite you to be ambitious. Do you want to go to Harvard, Yale, or Princeton? Then put on Harvard, Yale, and Princeton. Don't be afraid. If these are the schools you're interested in, then go ahead. Look at US News. Don't be afraid. You need to know what's at the top to know what you want from a school. What are the top 5 computer science schools in the country? MIT, Carnegie Mellon, Stanford, UC Berkeley, and UIUC. What are the top 5 business schools in the country? UPenn, MIT, UC Berkeley, University of Michigan, and NYU. Looking at these schools will give you a really good idea of what you might like and what you might even dislike in a college. Your college list should be made up of about 14 to 18 colleges. There are 2,832 colleges in the country that will give you a 4-year bachelor's degree. Since we're not going to apply to all of those almost 3,000 schools, now we need to figure out what the factors are for you to decide which college to apply to. The first factor is most obvious, but also sometimes very much overlooked, and it is your intended major. What major do you want to study in college? And if you have multiple interests, does that college offer you options to study all of them or some of them? Do you know what you want to explore within the field that you want to go into? For example, I have some students who want to do cybersecurity, but Columbia University has a computer science major, but no cybersecurity major. What that means is that if you're interested in Columbia and in cybersecurity, you might need to negotiate about either one of these interests. Princeton University has an econ major, an economics major, but no undergrad business major. So once again, is it Princeton or is it business? We hate to consider the situation, but since there's no guarantee in college admissions, we need to consider the following question. What if I only get into one school on this list? If I only get into one school on this list, what am I going to do there? Now, this also means that I want every single school on your list to be a school that you like. Are we a New Jersey resident and planning to apply to Rutgers? Are we applying to Rutgers because everyone else is, or because I have something that I want to study there and it's a good option for me? Now, by this point, my students who bring me lists of 30 or 40 schools often narrow down their list to about 27. Now, from these 27, we want to take a look at the following factors. Tuition, or cost of attendance, which can be 2 different things. Tuition is really the cost to go to that school, to take lectures. Cost of attendance can include everything else. What it takes to live in this area, in this school for 4 years. Diversity. Do you want to go to a school where there are more people who look like you, or do you not really care? That's okay too. Student to teacher ratio. Some students really do thrive in a smaller classroom. Is that your case as well? Location. Both geographic and relative. What I mean by that is geographic. I want to go to school in Boston, in New York, Washington, D.C., LA. Okay, that's great. Relative. I want to go to school close to home, close to a metropolitan area. Then we can think in a little different direction. Campus culture or setting. Some schools have a campus. Some schools do not. Columbia University has a campus in Manhattan. NYU has a city campus. They claim that the city is their campus. Boston University, very similar thing. So, do we want to be on a campus where there are quads and all of these different classical campus structures, or do we actually like the city campus, or do we just not care? Mental health resources and educational and health accommodations. These are 2 things that I really hope you don't need to take advantage of, but the difference of having them and not having them is huge. There are many students who can attribute their graduation from college to the mental health accommodations that were at that school. College is hard. Let's try to go somewhere where we have the resources to get help if we need it. Extracurricular opportunities. Extracurriculars are not just sports and culture clubs, but also if you're a business student, is there a consulting club on campus? Is there a business professional fraternity on campus? Are there opportunities for you to explore more beyond the classroom? Is there the thing that you want to do? Are you an avid debater? Then do you want to have more debate at school? Then that's also a factor we might be able to look into. Intramural and club sports opportunities. I know that this is a very big factor for some students who just need to get moving, need to stay moving. And then research opportunities. When you look at a school and look at their majors, you can also look at what courses they offer. From that, you can also figure out what professors there are and what they're doing in terms of research. Do you want to get behind them? Do you want to join them in their research? Because research is such a large portion of college. And finally, the range of majors in a school. In college, you might major in one thing, but think, I really want to explore this other thing. For example, when I was in college, I really wanted to explore comparative literature. It was just a spur of the moment thing. But the fact that my school offered comparative literature as an option was huge for me. I could explore these Russian and these Roman texts because I had the course. Is there something like that for you? As you have heard me say, some of these factors might not be very important for you, and that's completely fine. However, what's important for you to do is look at each of the schools on your list first. Some of these factors might not be very important to you at all, but there are going to be a few that are. Through your research, you're going to be able to find what you want from a school. And like I said in the beginning, you want to make sure that every single one of your 16 or 18 or 14 schools is a school that you want to attend. Now, how are you going to do that? Look at the school website. You're only really going to be able to find pros there, good things about the school. But then also look at YouTube, like you are here, College Confidential, Reddit. All of these options will give you a lot better of a look into what it means to go there. What is the student's experience at that school? But one thing to keep in mind is that there are some factors that won't make or break whether you apply. For example, UC Berkeley is pretty famous, actually pretty notorious, for having some of the worst cafeteria food in any US public university. Is that going to deter a computer science student from applying to UC Berkeley? From my experience with students, probably not. So be critical and reflect on yourself. You might find yourself considering name value as a top factor. That's fine, as long as you are aware of that. So with that, your college list is your first layer and most important layer of application strategy. If you need help building your college list, shoot us an email or write a comment below and we'll be able to help you. Thank you and good luck.